This isn't a cop show. This isn't a political show. This is a reality show. Street experience, law enforcement service, military leadership. This is Real Talk with Mohawk.
Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Mohawk. Today we're discussing the Memphis Safe Task Force. So what happened is back in October, Trump sent federal agents to help with the crime in Memphis. And man, when I tell you they got these young folks on the hill, they got them on the heels. They got these guys afraid to move. Now, since the task force got here in October 2025, so about 3 months ago, this task force has already made over 4,700 arrests. They've confiscated 750 plus, a little bit more, illegal guns, over 130 missing children, served over 1,800 arrest warrants, and have gotten a huge, substantial amount of narcotics off the streets of Memphis. Now, let's talk about why they're here. Basically, what's been going on in Memphis since 2006. 2006, Memphis was ranked the most violent city in America. And for two decades, all the way to now, right? And we just went into 2026. But for 2 decades, Memphis has not been able to get this under control. And for those 2 decades, Memphis has been listed in the top 10 most violent cities in America every year. Now, some years they're number one, some they're just in the top 10. But either way, the crime has not been taken care of. So let's be real about this. Let me tell you what's happening in Memphis. These guys have gone absolutely crazy, right? These guys are running around with switches. They're shooting in folks' houses. They're carjacking people, right? They're robbing people. They're robbing stores. You got some kidnappings going on. They are just doing whatever they think they can get away with. And for the most part, unfortunately, they were getting away with it. Well, President Trump said enough of it. And he got with his federal law enforcement folks, and they sent this task force down here. And, this would have never had to happen in the first place had Memphis been allowed to do their job. But I keep telling you that politics is getting in the way of law enforcement. I've said that before, over and over again. You've heard me talk about it. The politicians tied the hands of the Memphis police officers. How do I know? Because I talked to them. I've got friends on the Memphis Police Department. I have spoken with them personally, not just recently, but over my career, I've heard about it. How they used to be able to do their jobs. Used to, if someone stole a car and took off in it, Memphis police could chase and catch you. And when they caught you, you was going to pay for it. You might even get a foot in your tail. All right. But now, steal a car, they can't chase you. You go into a store, steal a cash register, run out with it, they can't chase you. So guess what? These little young guys, these little doo-doo heads, right? All they've been doing, running around, terrorizing people. Keep telling you, as long as you let these little young guys play with you, these criminals, and as long as we keep trying to not hurt feelings or not be aggressive or not be proactive or not actively chase them, as long as that's happening, the crime is going to continue just like it is in Memphis. Well, what about now? I went to Memphis a few days ago, and I went about a month and a half ago. And let me tell you something. Since this task force has gotten here, it's a complete different story. See, used to, you couldn't even ride on Interstate 240. You couldn't ride on 240 because these damn fools were driving these stolen cars, these fins, as they call them fin boys, they're stealing these Infinities. But the fins with the damn temp tags on them, with the bumper hanging off of them. Some of them couldn't get the fin, so they stole the Optima, right? They literally raced around 240 all day and all night. They literally would pass the police racing, and the police couldn't do anything. If you listen to the police radio traffic, they would get on, they try to make a traffic stop, and as soon as they made the traffic stop, they say the subject's refusing to stop. I'm not in pursuit. Because if they didn't immediately say they're not in pursuit, their lieutenant was going to come across the radio and tell them to break it off anyway. So they couldn't do the job. And the crime has just gotten out of control. It is absolutely terrible. So I got this to say to all the young guys that was out there doing all the crime, where are you at now? Huh? Where are your switches at now? For those of you that still got them, or for those of you that are still free, you haven't got locked up. Where you at now? I know where you are. You at home hiding. You at your mama's house. You at your grandmama's house, ain't you? You scared to come out. You got that switch hid up under the mattress. No, hell no. Don't do it now. No, don't do it now. Now that these real police finna get on you. And now even Memphis police are stepping up because they're seeing what the Fed guys are doing. So they're working a little bit harder. But no, go ahead and get your switches out now. Go hit the streets now. No, you don't want to do it because you know what's going to happen to you. Folks are sick and tired of the young guys running around terrorizing neighborhoods. Memphis used to be a beautiful city. It's actually still a beautiful city. It's just crime ridden. Memphis was a beautiful city. Memphis had a lot going for it. There's a lot of money in Memphis. We had great things in Memphis. But now all these old people, you got to think about how many people came to Memphis for a better life even. Came out of Mississippi, came out of Arkansas, came to Memphis because there was job opportunities. But those same people that worked hard, right? They put the kids through school. They bought them a nice home. You can still go through Memphis. You see some of the most immaculate yards you'll ever see anywhere. And I've been not only around the United States, I've been around the world. But beautiful homes, beautiful yards, families doing the very best they can to be good model citizens, working, raising families. But no, you got these old people scared. They can't even come outside. Who the hell are you to think you can run around and terrorize folks and ain't gonna be no consequences? Ha ha. The joke's on you now, ain't it? Because them folks ain't playing with you. And I know you're hoping that they leave soon. And I know you're sitting in your mama house with your gun here hoping they'll knock your door in. And you think that you're just going to wait them out, right? Oh, we'll wait a few more weeks. No, wrong answer. See, that's what a lot of law enforcement agencies do. And I think you think that's what's about to happen. You know, a lot of law enforcement agencies, they wait for, a homicide or something like that to happen. And then they patrol real heavy for a week or two. They saturate the area. They make a couple of arrests, usually not anything associated with what actually happened, the reason they were there in the first place. But then after a week or two, it fades out. I know the game. I used to have to be a part of the little stupid game. I used to have to be a part of it. But no, it ain't going to happen this time, not in Memphis. Them feds ain't going nowhere. And I'll tell you what, when some of them do leave, there's going to be enough of them left here that when you jump in your fin, when you want to run around and shoot at people on the interstate, when you want to do these drive-bys and shoot in these grandmother's house or shoot in these houses where these little kids are trying to sleep, where people got to make a decision, do they want to sleep in the bed or sleep on the floor because there's been shootings in the neighborhood? We'll see how that worked out for you. Go ahead, do it again. Y'all ain't doing it now. You probably play tough. You probably run around to, man, I ain't worried about the police. Man, I ain't worried about the police. But I don't see you out there like you used to be. What happened? Because you ain't shit, and you know it. You just been terrorizing folks. I'm so glad that these folks have finally come down here and got on you. Now, another issue that came up, and I'm finna get on the county now. Now I'm gonna get on Shelby County. Now, Sheriff Bonner, since 2009, Sheriff Bonner is the sheriff of Shelby County. Since 2019, Sheriff Bonner has been telling the county mayor and the county commissioners that he needed a jail. He's been talking about the overcrowding. He's been talking about the conditions of the jail. Well, now that the task force is down here, the jail is really overcrowded. It is way overcrowded. And they've had some in custody deaths. Now, some say that it's because of the overcrowding. Some say it's because of the jail conditions. Some people say it's because of they had health issues. Some of these people that are being arrested had health issues before they ever got to the jail. So I think it's probably a combination of all of those. But to see the Shelby County mayor, and I see him and the sheriff are down there battling right now. The Shelby County mayor jumps on talking about these in custody deaths and things like that, and he puts it all on the sheriff. He wants to say it's the sheriff's fault. No, it's not the sheriff's fault. The sheriff has been telling you since 2019. There have been outside agencies, the people who accreditate the jail. They have come in. They've done the reports. The sheriff has given you those reports from these outside agencies that say that the jail is out of compliance. The sheriff has come to you. He's asked for the money for the jail. You didn't want to give it to him. You know why? I know why. Because you're not really concerned about the safety of the citizens. You want to put that money where you and your cronies, you and your friends, y'all can do your special projects together, right? Some of these people with big money, yeah, you want to send that money and help them with these big projects or put it in places that's going to get you reelected. See, you ain't worried about the crime, because if the crime is out of control, you can still get reelected. It's the sheriff who may not get reelected, because you're going to say, well, the sheriff isn't controlling the crime. The sheriff ain't handling his business in the jail. Stop putting it on the sheriff. Why didn't you work with him when he came to you? Why didn't you work with him when he came to you and told you he needed money for a jail? Why didn't you work with him? You didn't. So guess what you're getting? You're getting the consequences. Stop putting it on him. Now, in the neighboring county of Shelby County, Tennessee, you have right across the state line in the Mississippi, you have DeSoto County. And let me show you how this can work. Remember, the only thing that's dividing them is a county line. You can drive straight out of Memphis into DeSoto County and straight out of DeSoto County into Memphis or Shelby County. All right. You come right across that line into Mississippi. They don't have any problems. They don't have any problems in DeSoto County. You know why? Because Sheriff Tuggle, the DeSoto County Sheriff, he ain't going for it. In fact, he gets on the TV regularly and lets people know, if you come from Memphis over to DeSoto County, your ass is going to jail. You can get ready for it. You're going to jail. And people know it. People know it if they're coming from further down in Mississippi, coming into DeSoto County, if they're coming out of Memphis into DeSoto County. Folks know to get right. You know, folks like to lay back and be cool when you drive and kick your hand all up on the steering wheel and got your music blasted while you lay there. Let me tell you something. Folks get into Shelby County, into DeSoto County, them seats come up, them hands get on it, the music turned down, all these blunts and all this other stuff, they start getting put out. They're not coming into DeSoto County like this. Because it doesn't matter what agency it is in DeSoto County. It can be the South Haven Police Department, Olive Branch Police Department, even Walls. Folks are scared to go through a little bit of town of Walls, Mississippi, because it's in DeSoto County. They're not going to play with you. And in fact, Sheriff Tuggle was so impressive that he said, hey, Sheriff Tuggle told Sheriff Bonner, said, hey, I'm going to clear out some space in my jail just in case you get an overflow down there where you are because of the task force, and you can bring some of your folks up there and house them up here with me. That's a real sheriff. That's why DeSoto County is one of the safest counties in America. And remember, one of the safest counties in America, but it borders the most violent city in America. Why is that? Because there's consequences. And the officers in DeSoto County, they're coming after you. They're not allowed to sit around and not work. They're not allowed to not perform. If you're going to work at an agency in DeSoto County, you're going to work, period. And the agency is going to support you. If you run from them, an agency in DeSoto County, they're chasing you. If they have to get a dog out and put that dog on you because you done ran off in the woods, you finna get your ass ate up. That's what's about to happen. You're going to get ate up. Because, see, they're more concerned with people actually feeling safe, and they're more concerned about these mothers and these fathers and these brothers and sisters who are crying because they're losing their loved ones needlessly. There's no excuse for the amount of crime that's going on in Memphis, and it's going on all over the United States. There's a whole bunch of areas in the United States where this is happening. And while those leaders in those areas are trying to be so politically correct, have the proper optics that I always talk about, real people are suffering. And it's sad. It's pitiful. But see, people won't talk about it. People can't talk about it like I do, because now that I'm no longer in law enforcement, even though I did my 27 years in it, I'm not in it now. I can talk about it. See, the guys on the force now, they want to talk about it. I've had so many phone calls and texts telling me to talk about stuff dealing with this type of issue because they can't talk about it. They want me to be their voice. And guess what? I am. Let me say that again. I am. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. And I'm going to bring it to you rough, and I'm going to bring it to you raw. Everything I talk about is going to be real. Anyone that wants to challenge me, by all means, we can sit down and have that conversation. I do not mind. And you may be able to show me some areas where I'm wrong. And if I am, I'll look at you and say I'm wrong. Or we may have a difference of opinion, and I say we have a difference of opinion. We can have a difference of opinion, and we can still do it respectfully. But I will not sit back, watch these type of things happen when it can clearly be addressed properly. And you see that right now with the Memphis Safe Task Force. So thank you again for joining me today, and look forward to more Real Talk with Mohawk.
If you care about truth over politics and safety over optics, you're in the right place. This is Real Talk with Mohawk. Street experience, law enforcement service, military leadership.